So fluorocarbons then, guys, vital part of the carp angler's armoury nowadays. Very, very popular, in vogue if you want to call it, but...
Yeah, I'd say so, Pete. You know, there's certainly, you know, latter part of autumn into winter, the lakes are clearing up. You want to be as invisible as an angler as you can be, especially when the fish are slowing down. Fluorocarbon gives you that edge. It sinks down, you're not over massive weed beds, you know, everything's flat on the bottom, so, you know, the fish quite often circle around looking for lines. You've got a tight line going to your lead. A fluorocarbon, you can ease it off, it will sink down. The beauty with the Pure Power is that we've actually designed a fluorocarbon that is as soft as any mono, and it will cast as far as most monos. I mean, the first time out on this particular thing, I used 16 pound. It's quite ironic, really. We're actually sat in the swim, the very same swim I caught the Isle of Wight record, and I had it on all 3 rods. And on this particular lake, I had 3 upper 20s, 3 30s, and the 48.5, which was, you know, some kind of test for me on a line. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that, and it was remarkable. It probably wasn't the right lake to have it on because how far that will cast, but I was using it in a different scenario. I was sinking it off, I was almost backleading, but I still had, within sort of the fish moving off 2 foot indication. Yeah. And that was vital, and I think that was key, and all those fish bar one came in the daytime.
Visual part of angling really comes into play.
Well, you know, I know that the owner of this particular lake said that they're really spooked out if they hear human beings, hear the footsteps, I don't think they knew we were here. Well, I was here, you know, and once I was cast in, let it all sort of sink down to the bottom, and it did exactly what it was supposed to. And there's a sort of a gravel bar over there, and it was, you know, all the fish were fighting over the top of it, up against the reeds, and I didn't have any troubles whatsoever. Performed amicably, and it landed me an Isle of Wight record.
Yeah, I think the main advantage is, I mean, fluorocarbon by its nature, nothing affects it, does it? You know, so, you know, a lot of mates of fluorocarbon. It's wiry when you put it on your reel, and it's wiry 6 months later. You know, you know, because of the softening process, it's, you know, it's really nice to use all, you know, straight away, isn't it? You know,
it feels just like a mono.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the nice part of being a consultant with Ultima is that they actually listen. We listen to the public, we listen to what people want, we know hopefully what people want, and we're looking for it for ourselves, and they tend to incorporate that into a product. So not only is it in white, it doesn't just come in white, a clear finish, we've done it in the green as well, because some people prefer that colour. I don't know of another fluorocarbon.
There's not, I don't think.
So there you go. So we were the first people to actually incorporate a dye into fluorocarbon, and, you know, most lake beds have an element of green, brown, and that, once that's lead on the bottom, the fish don't know it's there. It's just an awesome line, like the hook links. I mean, obviously, I make most of my fishing, I'd say, is done with fluorocarbon hook links. I use the power link in 15 and 18, incorporated with that. I don't even use a leader, so it's straight to the lead. And, you know, in the thicker variety, I have no problems with flicking scales off, or people talk about that. I haven't ever had a problem with that. Just literally a lead clip. When you put that in the water, all you can see is the lead.
Do you find knots, you know, you have to use different knots, or is
I use the twice through the eye 5-turn grinner. Right, okay. And it's the same as you would do with a normal braid. Yeah.
I
haven't had any problems.
No.
I used to. I'm not, you know, sounding like an Ultima flagship here, but other manufacturers that I've used in the past, I've had problems with, like, it snapping. Yeah. Polymers going. Some of it was to do with the hooks we used to start with. You know, if you don't use an out-turned eye, that took me about 1.5 years to work that out. But, you know, I haven't had any problems at all with notch strength. So, you know, no, you know, but I do use it in the 15 and the 18, and the 18 is still supple enough to use it as a.
Well, I know you've said to me before it's almost braid-like. Yeah, the way it operates. I mean, that's with the basic.
That's 15. It's really floppy, which is unusual for fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbons of past, they'll snap. Yeah. But this stuff just doesn't snap. You know, it's a really good fluorocarbon. I don't ever see fluorocarbon disappearing from the carp world. I see it getting stronger and stronger.
Well, the other thing with Pure Power is the fact that the softening process has made it into a much more castable line as well. So, I mean, through testing, Mark Hutchinson, one of our consultants, has cast over 170 yards with a baited rig with
That's the £16 he did that with.
£16 fluorocarbon, which is
Well,
unbelievable.
we're not saying you're going to cast that far because no one probably will. But that's with a fluorocarbon. That was £16 straight through. No leaders. That was bang straight through. So if you take the average angler, he's going to be able to cast sort of ton 20, ton 10 with a fluorocarbon and fish happily and confident. That's what fluorocarbon will do for you. It'll just give you that extra key factor in confidence.
I think the other aspect it gives you is that you do tend to fish slack lines at shorter distances, and if you see a fish roll or you see a fish top out and you want to punch a lead at it, which has been resulted in many big fish being caught, if you've got the fluorocarbons of old, you wouldn't be able to reach. Whereas with this,
well, you get the old frapping around the rod, and I have used them and steered away from them until obviously then Power Carp come out, fluorocarbon coated, a line that casts could sink. But this stuff will actually sink like a brick. So you can use it as a hook link as well, which I've done in the 16 variety. Used it with the basic complicated rig, and it works. It's brilliant. You know, but obviously, be choosy when you're choosing your fluorocarbon. Choose the right strain. It's not cheap, but it does a job that especially in the, like you say, through autumn and winter, it'll help you catch more fish.
Definitely.